Let there be light. And there was light. Okay, I'm doing my magic spell, that's all. Okay, so these are the words of the said God from Genesis chapter 1. This is Mother Eve, and Eve, of course, waters that we heard of in Genesis of chapter 1. And of course, we know that water is life. So we have had a series of presentations that really show Mother Eve and waters are one and the same. That would mean, of course, we are of Eve, so we are water. We have always learned that we are 80%, 70% water. Mother Eve has told us that it is, we are female 100% water and male 90% water. I keep saying that because I'm believing there'll be a time when scientists we will be able to say yes, it is as such. Okay, and we don't always have to wait for scientists to validate things because they are really validating or testing things that we have learned intuitively for most of the times. So, and then again, it would be to deny our own innate intelligence as well, which is something very wonderful, very empowering for us to connect with. By that, we are connecting or strengthening our relationship with Mother Eve. Okay, so on this subject, on this presentation, and we have spoken in past presentations about the different contracts, we could say, that Mother Eve had with the other gods. So the god who made, for instance, would be the god who made the lights, to make the great lights, two great lights. When it is said, and God made two great lights in the heavens to give light upon the earth, that would be the God who made. That's the God who made. And made, actually, now I found that very interesting. This is not so much the intention for this presentation, but the word made I find also reflects in the story of Abraham and his wife Sarah and the maid Hagar, who Abraham's wife Sarai offered her maid to her husband to have the first child. Now, that is, of course, the word is M-A-I-D there, and but with the spirit of sound, this is how we see that there are different layers of understanding on teachings and meanings in the stories. So if it were that Sarah had given her maid to her husband, that is also the connotation of someone is giving their virginity. There is another word, the virginity, is offering their virginity. So we can see how these stories can have different layers of meanings. Okay, but back to the lights, is that the God, as I say, who made, but we are concentrating on the God set. So when it is said, and God set, it's the God who set. We have covered in past presentations that the God set, which is also, the word set is 8. And if we do this 1, 5, 2 and add these together, we'll see that equals 8, which coincides with Mother Eve, who ate of the fruit of the of good and evil. So we see that the number 8 was a representation of setting a mark for another era, for another time, another phase. And this is coinciding, this set here is coinciding with where we are at now, because Mother Eve has been telling us that we are moving into the 8th phase. The 8th phase, as I have spoken, that I ended up buying a blouse that has on the label for the 8th phase. This is very miraculous in a sense. You know, it's very how often that you are talking about an 8th phase, that you would go to a shop and find a blouse that has on it for, it's like an instruction, is for the 8th phase. It's not even just saying the 8th phase, it's saying for the 8th phase. Okay, so we also have taken this lesson because we are ending a 7th phase cycle. We are ending this 7th cycle and moving into the 8th cycle. So we can see the number 8 is very pinnacle in our journey here. So it coincides, like I say, with Mother Eve having ate of the fruit of good and evil, and we see that it also coincides with the mouth. The mouth equals 5, and 8 of course is 8, like it was 17 whether it's God. So 17 here with the word set as well is in the 17th verse of Genesis chapter 1. So 1 plus 7 is 8. And so we see that the word set and 8, it's as if the two will mirror in each other. And that in itself is telling us as if there's 2 sets of 8 going on there, or two settings, let's put it this way, or 2 settings are happening there. Okay, so if you're new to this channel and wondering what this wonderful face is, it's Mother Eve. Mother Eve, which is a depiction here of the mother of all gods and mother of mothers. And this is the sacrifice template. This is where we work out the numerical values of the alphabet here. And on this we have worked out that each of these 3 blocks here, which you can see here, there's the word SAC, like sac, RIF, reef, and ICE, ice. And each of these gives us 666 when we add these 1, 2, 3 here, and 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8, 9. When we add these numbers, we get 6 and 24. I think it's 24. This is this one would be 15 and 24. So 6, 15 and 24, and they all each column gives us 6. So we end up with 666 right there. These are the numbers that really get people trembling. And what we have seen here is that it is really a illustration of letting us know where we are at, and how we have handled the different segments of the sacrifice template. And it also means that when we have mastered each of these segments here, the very same segments, when we add here, of course, the alphabet, we see we have 369. Let's see, write this in a way that you can see it. So each column gives us 369, that is each segment, 369, 369, 369. These are the famous numbers by Nikola Tesla. So there is a lot going on about 369. But what we see in this template, it is really like Revelation is saying to us that when we have mastered each of these segments, we end up with the number 9. So we would have 666 here, which is up here, and 999 there. Basically, what we have found out when we do the numerical value for the word 9, N-I-N-E. Oh, please pen. Okay, when we do the numerical value for the word 9, it gives us 24. 2 plus 4 is 6. Seems like my pen have just dried up. Okay, all right, so it gives us, so we would really be, we can see where the play is of the 666. It depends. I am believing that if we are reading it as 666 instead of even 999, that is really saying that we have not looked at the whole picture. So basically, the person who gets to the stage of seeing and working the whole picture, they would know that this 6 is also 9, or 9 is also 6 in this sense, because when we write the numerical value for 9, it is 6. Okay, what I really want to concentrate on, let's see, it's just amazing how my pen has dried. Okay, I'm trying to find a pen that writes now. So I have been, well, Mother Eve has been reminding us of, or reminding us to remember, because remembering is the most important thing right now. And when we remember, basically, it's like getting us to that setting. It's like when we're in a set, it's that as if there will be, whatever is in that setting. It's like you are put into an environment and there would be things to help you remember. So remember who you are, remembering who you really are. And so that's why it is so important that we know where we have been, where we are going, and where we come from. So however stage that we choosing to tackle this this journey, well, it would be important that we go how we are intuitively guided to do this. Okay, so last time I remember using the word remember, but I didn't do the numerical value on here. But what I did point out is the 9 and 5 on either ends, and I think that is very significant. It's like the word remember with these numbers at the end is really a reminder that it is a cycle, that it's a cycle that we are talking about. So one end, which you could say is the past, whether you use this R as past, but it ties in with the other, with the last one, which is basically you will see the reflection. So 9 is being reflected there, and 5 is also reflected. So it's beginning and end, as we have done in other presentations, showing that the word beginning is 9 and the word end is 5. So remember is a cycle that teaches us how to do this. So the word itself is locked into that remembrance. It's the structure of it, the whole construct of it is evident of how it plays out in our lives. So let's count this. This is 14, which is 5. 9 plus 5 is 14, and we have 14 here as well. And adding this here now is 8 plus 5 is 13. And that's really because these are the numbers that I have been talking about quite a lot, number 13 and number 14. So 14 is really about the 14 gods. And as I say, I'm the fifth child of 14 children. So 14 is 5 and 13 is 4. So we have 5 plus 5 is 10 plus 4. We are talking about 14 right here. Now this is really wonderful with that adding it up. So this is 5 and this is 4. And so this is the very same numbers that we come to when we are working with the name Eve. So this is 5, 4, 5. So basically we can see that remembering her, it's no wonder Mother Eve keeps calling us home. She wants to tell us and brief us about how we need to prepare to get into this other cycle. So Mother Eve, we could say, is also remember. Remember would be the same vibrational frequency, the same function as Mother Eve, because that's what Mother Eve is about. The Eve as in evening. This is where everything gets set. This is where we say the sun sets. It sets, so everything comes into more concise. It comes inward. So that's what Mother Eve is, the ocean. Mother Eve is the uterus. In fact, the word uterus equals 23, which is also 5. So this is what we are talking about here. So why Mother Eve is asking us to remember, and the word remember has 4 and 3. It has 7. Sorry. Oh, I have missed a word. So remember is sorry, it's not 14. There's the B, which is 2. Okay. So 2, so that would be 16. 16 instead of 14. So 1 plus 6 is 7. But Mother Eve is still very present there, because as the serpent, or the word serpent, P-E-N-T, here, we have done this. So 1, 5, 9, 7, 5, 9, 2. When we add this together, so this is 16, 20, 16, 23, 32, 35, 32, and plus 5 is 37, 38. Okay, so there's a mistake, because 38 is, let's count this again. So 3 9s 27. Oh, this is 1, not 9. So this is 16 here, and this is 17 here. Okay, so that would be 33 and 7. 33 plus 7 is, this is 10. So this is 140 time of day. Okay. So let's do this again. Bear with me. Okay, so serpent. Oh, my pens are dry, and okay, so this is 2, 5, 5. Okay, so I had the wrong letters or numbers. Okay, so it wasn't 9. Serpent. This is better. So this is here. Hope you can see this. This is 10, 20, 29, 34. So it's 34. 3 plus 4 is 7. That's correct. So 7, and remember is also 7. So we see that that's where Mother Eve and is reflected in that function, or to remember. The serpent wants us to remember. Okay, now just checking the time. So the serpent wants us to remember there was the contract that Mother Eve had given out, or the lettings. And if you haven't, if this is the first, I have done a series of presentations showing that Mother Eve, as the grand orchestrator, or the big businesswoman who would be giving the contracts to the other gods. So there were 8 lettings, but on the 8th one, which is the phase we are moving into, because what is happening, these cycles they go over. So people are moving into this fifth, eighth dimension, and the cycle goes on again. It regenerates in whatever, from whatever stage. So it's the cycle we are ending, the 7,000-year cycle, and we are moving into a 7 year cycle, which is from the 15th of May. This is where Uranus enters into the second zodiac sign, which of Taurus. Okay, so basically, Mother Eve is wanting us to really consider this, how we are going to be, or the journey or the leap that we are now taking. So when we are ready, or when we remember, we are more equipped, we are stronger, we are more empowered, we will be more in tune with what is happening and what we are meant to be doing. So all those people who are moving into the fifth, eighth dimension will be more equipped by taking heed or paying attention to the teachings of Mother Eve. And that is intuitively done. So no matter what I'm saying here, you don't have to accept it, as long as you're in tune with Mother Eve, because Mother Eve is, it's as if you have your own unique language and relationship with your mother, Mother Eve. And so on the last 8th entry, so Mother Eve, this is where Mother Eve says, let us make man in our image. And then we hear that God made man in his own image. So Mother Eve's wish is that we make man in our image, after our likeness. But now we see that that is not what is happening in the world. And that is what Mother Eve really wants to remind us, which is important. Remember who you are, so then you can have this template to make man in your image, after your likeness. How do we make man? Is that we are living the life that which would be replicated, or that which would set a template for another to follow, or for another to walk in that footstep, or for another to think or copy, because that's what it seemed like we have been, copies, just like well, we have been copies, because we are not the original people. We have been diluted, if you like, to some extent. And so but Mother Eve is saying, and she beckons us to do that. This is how any degree of original state or mindset that we have can be sustained or can be protected, is by remembering. So there is an aspect of our makeup that have the ability to remember. And so this is why Mother Eve is getting this triggered to remember, so we can remember. And I believe that's what is going to happen when Uranus enters into Taurus, because Taurus is the bull, which is of course, when it's red, the raging bull, if you like, but it's also the that which is nurturing the earth and balancing the earth, and of course really cares for the earth. And there it is so important that we remember. So in remembering, so the God made man in his own image, but own image. And I have done the numerical value for image, which is 8, and own is 7. Now, we've done this before, but we can see that it's the consciousness that is important, that for us to acknowledge. So God made man in his own image. If we add this own image, and we could see this is already been 15, which takes us into the middle spectrum of the sacrifice template. But putting this aside is that we see, when we see the word own, it also is the word now. So it's important that we act now so we can own this, or own the deed of sale, so to speak, or own the right to set man in our own image, um, to make man in our own image. And then we have the other word, which is own, then now. And of course it would mean that we have won, because we have won, and that we would be doing what Mother Eve wants us to do. Instead, there's the other thing that we are against, where the word won would be, is that it's the new world order that is in our faces now, ready to take, to win. So that one, this segment here is really, now the new world order is trying to replace this segment here, to have your own right to choose, or to have won your right, your own right, or to have won your privilege, your present, because the now is also present, and it's like it were the serpent, because the word serpent is also present. When you break it down, like serpent, present, it's the same word, and of course the serpent is always present. So this is what we need to be mindful, that the new world order is not going to replace our original state. When we say original state, or the original state of whatever we were, because it's like as time goes on, or with every phase, is that there's the tendency to dilute our makeup altogether. And here, for this reason, Mother Eve is saying, remember, remember. And for you to remember, she says, come home. Let me tell you, come home. I want to relate the story to you. I hope you have got some sense out of this. And of course, as I did make some other videos on the AI and robot Sophia, which also is the replacement for Mother Eve, because it has got, I think, the same numerical value. I have done this. Not sure if it's the same spelling here, but both Sophia, whether it was F or PH, I remember that it had the same numerical value. Okay, 6, 7, and I think it's F, but let's do this. 8, 9. Okay, this is 10, 24, 31, 32. So it's 32, and like it will Christ, and of course 32, like it will life. It will all the fives that I have related, like the key, pyramid, lock, open, power. It's also power. All those words are Christ, which is, it comes under the Christ as well. 32. So basically, we have the AI, Sophia, which is a companion or pioneer, if you like, for this new world order, or very pinnacle construct of the new world order. And Mother Eve is saying, this is, we could see all this here, as we have learned, we could say this is on, this is now, and this is one. But they have now used these as abbreviations to really deconstruct our thinking, our mindset, and to follow this area. And Mother Eve asked us, no, we need to remember that we have already won. Just like she said, behold, I have given you all fruit yielding trees, that which have its seed in it after its kind. I'm paraphrasing, it's not the exact words. So with that, it's really saying to us, it's time we wake up and understand that the time, the memory is actually activated right now if we choose to, and to know what we are meant to be doing. Thank you. Okay. So I just really tried to have at least one presentation tonight. So I hope I feel much better in the next couple of days so I could do some more vids. Thank you. Okay, spill over with love and let there be light.